This is awkward. You're expecting a bard, or at the very least a storyteller of merit. Instead, you get a thief. If it's any consolation, I am a damned good thief. Or I was. But you see, I've made a mistake. I've stolen something that needs tending. I have stolen something that, without my intervention, will surely die. I've stolen a story. My name is Vanda, and for the very first time in my life, I mean to tell the truth. The truth of the five. Don't expect flowery language or poignant metaphor. I am not some god's damned bard. But in a realm forgotten, you will remember them. You will remember the five. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another Monday evening. Welcome to another episode of The Realms Remembered. I'm looking forward to this one. I've been looking forward to this one since we started, so I'm not going to take too much time here. We know why we're here, The Realms Remembered, but how can we be here? Our sponsors. So, Roll20. Thank you very much. Take your game online with Roll20, the virtual tabletop of choice for the Realms Remembered team. You can insert your own tokens, your own maps. You can make your own Realms Remembered. And please, go there now, www.roll20.net, create a free account, and if you do so over the next few days and click on Roll20 Con, you will get dynamic lighting for free. It's a great deal. Go over and take advantage of it now and remember your own realms. Also, Die Hard Dice. If you go to Die Hard Dice and type in coupon code The Grim, you will get 15% off your next order. Die Hard Dice, fantastic. They roll 20s about 1/20th of the time. Now, for donations, how can you help our players, everyone? Just look straight down. You can give them plot armor, you can give them advantage, you can give them a boon, a raspberry beret, or if you're feeling generous, you can give a good vibration, which is a boon or a feat permanently bestowed upon the player character. They received one 2 episodes ago, and it is quite a boon. Also, if you would like to become a part of the Realms Remembered, there is a donation for that. Our good buddy Hawk will be joining us as our first guest. You could be the second. And finally, please retweet our going live message, and I will throw it up in chat right now. If you do so, and we reach a specific number, 30 during the episode, or 50 in 2 episodes' time, the players will get a D8 of inspiration. However, if we go above and beyond, they might get something much, much better. But we'll see. Now, the Realms Remembered features a lot of music and video elements. As I've stated before, everyone, it takes a little tweaking working through it with Twitch. If you hear something that is too soft, if you hear something that's too loud, video buffers, anything like that, please, please go ahead and comment in chat. It helps me out on a rewatch to be able to take your feedback, tweak it, and hopefully improve future episodes of the Realms Remembered. But that's that. Now it's time to get into the story, the stolen story, if you will. So far, the group awoke at the Bend, a city between Waterdeep in the north and Baldur's Gate in the south. 4 of the group, Yuknon, Roberts, Ulfzik, and Bianca, experienced troubling dreams guided by a person calling themselves Sister Chandra. After waking, the group met several members of the Sisters of Captured Grace, but none of them recognized or knew of a Sister Chandra. They then moved towards the town proper, where they met a priest of Ogma by the name of James. They uncovered the locations where each of them were discovered and visited all of them, save for the one place where Bianca and Ulfzik were found. They traveled to the beach, discovered an awoken tree named Birch Eye and some yellow petals. Ironbender Oron communicated in the sands of his rock garden that he believed the ley lines brought them to the Bend. He also informed the group that the Bend is a nexus for most of the ley lines of the world, the ley lines being the magic bands that carry and contain or perhaps produce the magic of the weave. He also said that he is the guardian of these lines. He believes that the PC's inadvertently responsible for tremors he's felt in the ley lines, tremors that normally spell ill omen. He asked the group, and they agreed to stay in town for several days while he tried to figure out why they were there and how they should proceed. Drinks were procured, a bathroom discovered, mugs returned, work found. Cal, a halfling shepherd with a sheep problem, was contacted, and a shell spoke to Roberts, which is exactly where we shall begin, in a store known as Dag's Nabbit, Dagobert Hornwood, owner-operator. My friends, let us go back to the romance, the music, and the adventure of the Realms Remembered. Roberts and Bianca, you are inside Dag's Nabbit. Dagobert has just offered a shell to Roberts, and Roberts, as you have placed it against your ear, and you have moved the shell around, hearing the normal tells and waves of that false sea, as you turned and looked, you heard a voice whisper, "North, Captain Roberts." What do you do?
I listen for another moment. Does it say anything else?
No, it just said North, Captain Roberts.
And then it gets quiet.
You can still hear the ocean or, that false wave and sea crash.
Okay, there's 2 ways I could play this. Lauren, SOS help. Should I play it dumb? Like I didn't hear anything? I kind of want to. I think she'll lower the shell and look like confused at Dag. I hear the sea.
Roll a deception check with disadvantage.
What? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That fun thing.
Sure. 5.
Dag, a businessman of some years, despite his small stature of being a halfling, his perception is quite large. And, well, let's just make sure. Yeah. Dag raises an eyebrow. Puts his hand out for it back. I'll give you 2.
I want to listen.
Yep. She'll hand it over to you.
It sounds like the sea.
What did you hear? To Dag.
He's just staring at Roberts.
Ah, she's staring back.
Oh my gosh, it's like the third straight person in this town. Well, will you buy it?
Sure. 2 gold pieces sounds fair.
Are you lowballing me?
For a shell? No.
For a shell that you heard something that you're not saying and you're just staring at my friend.
He stays quiet, neither confirming nor denying anything that you might suspect.
What is this place? Well,
How
Robert,
about
do you want to...
5?
He puts the shell, or did you hand it to him, or do you still have it?
Bianca has it.
Yeah, I have it.
Maybe you should keep it, Captain.
Like I said before, we need the money.
How much do you want for it?
I would trade it for that. And she looks over at the sword.
Done. Both of you roll perception checks without disadvantage.
Yeah.
I'll actually use one of my advantages to have advantage on this then. 18.
Nice.
With an 18, though you understand what you will from this, you see what looks like pearl-colored powder as Dag produces one of his hands and kind of shakes it, and you see some fine dust leave his fingertips as he reaches for the shell.
Do I see this or just Roberts?
You wouldn't see it.
What was that on your hand?
Just dust.
Can I do insider or something?
At disadvantage, yes, you may.
Sure. 13.
Yeah, he's not lying, it's dust. But
Yeah.
what created the dust is probably something that he's concealing. He's not openly lying to you about anything.
Yeah.
He's just sketchy.
He's just a salesman.
Ugh. The worst.
Dust from what? It seems that you keep it pretty clean in here.
It just helped me understand what you didn't hear.
Okay, can I see the dust now that it's been pointed out?
Yeah, it's pearl dust.
Would I know what that means?
Roll an Arcana check for me.
Okay. At disadvantage?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Do you have any advantages left?
I do, but I'm a hoarder. I'll use
know.
one.
Okay.
I'll use one. Okay.
Normal roll.
Normal roll. Whee! 15. That's good.
Depending upon, and you have seen that Dag was able to cast light, at least in that little tube. He's a magic user of some discipline. Normally a pearl is used to cast the spell Identify.
So why do you think that you could hear it and she couldn't? I didn't hear it.
Strange phenomenon. And he reaches for it and indicates the sword.
Bianca's holding on to it. We'll mull it over.
I'll be here. And he goes back to walking through with his little pamphlets, Columbo style. As he, what do I have? And he just starts checking off where he was in his list of inventory.
I talk to Roberts in her head. I think it might be magic, and he's a little skis ball.
She looks at you and then just nods towards the door. And she'll head that way.
Let's leave.
As you walk out, we will cut back to the lavender fields as James, Yuknon, and Ulfzik are returning from Cal the shepherd's cottage. You're almost to the town proper. In fact, as you're coming in this direction, you can sort of see Dag's Nabbit just because you passed by it on your way out of town. But what are you all doing as you approach, if anything?
Do we have, as we get closer to the town, does our exhaustion go away?
Not yet.
Okay.
Do we see the tiefling that was reading a story?
She seemed to be working on something. She wasn't reading per se. She was writing something down, but no, she's not there.
I guess small talk as we're walking back towards the town then. Yuknon is curious about Ulfzik and James because he doesn't really know very much about them. So he would ask James, tell me a little bit more about the god that you serve.
James kind of takes a deep breath. I serve Ogma. He's a god of knowledge. He seeks out any kind of information he can get. He is a fair god. No information is good or bad. Like all things, it's facts. What you do with it is your own doing. Me, I've chosen to seek out and find what I can to help people. That's not all Augmen priests, though, believe me.
When you get a new piece of information, do you like write it on a note and leave it somewhere? Or do you shout it up towards the clouds?
No, it's been difficult for me lately because, well, I say lately, I do not do that. I stored in just any kind of taps his brass, stored in my brain, and I use it to advance who I'm with and what we need to do. It's been a long time since I've been to my temple. So the last temple I was at was in Waterdeep, and they were not very friendly.
How so?
Like all religions and all people who want power, they turn and use their own abilities for their own good or evil. And they had to be removed.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you were not harmed.
I've been harmed many times, but I'm doing okay. But thank you. So a little bit about you guys. Where are you two from?
I come from the mountains and the spine of the world.
Ah, okay. I'm from Neverwinter, so we are very close to each other.
I don't think I have ever been, but I trust you.
It's a beautiful city.
What does it look like?
Oh, majestic, large. People are very friendly there for the most part, but it is under strife right now. And he kind of like stops himself. We always have issues with other towns or other cities, but we do our best. The people in my temple they took me in a long time ago. and I have tried to do them proud. Let's just say that.
Your exhaustion is gone as you walk towards town.
Yuknon, how about you? Where are you from?
Oh, I've been around. Yuknon, after asking his initial question, kind of goes quiet and he's watching the two of you, and he's got a little bit of a amused look on his face. And I guess he would try to dodge the question a little bit and counter with another question. Do you really believe that knowledge can't be bad inherently?
I think knowledge is fact. I think knowledge is, it is what it is. It's how you use the knowledge that you receive.
And you don't think that there's some knowledge that's too dangerous to be known?
I didn't say that either. I'm not the great keeper of knowledge, believe me. I am just the priest who's trying to make it through here. I've awoken, and I'm just trying to get knowledge to figure out how we can help each other and how we can figure out what is going on right now. I'm not thinking of any greater thing above all that. But back to you, though. Where are you from?
As I said, I've traveled a lot. I've never really stayed in one place very long. I've never been here before. And he's looking around too. Or as we're walking back, are there like, I don't know, is there like a stream or is there any kind of like water source besides the well?
Well, as you're coming down into the bend, it's on the coast. So off to what would be your left as you're descending back into the bend, you see the Sword Sea as it extends to infinity, eventually hitting the Moonshays, but they're not visible.
Is it a long walk? Is it a long detour to go to the water?
No, just cut through town like you had before, past the tree, and you'll be there.
Would the two of you mind if we stopped by the water? There's a thing that I need to do. Just take a minute.
Oh, yeah, we've been walking away, so once we get by the water, there's a thing that I have to do too.
Of course.
Yeah, James says the same. Of course, we can go to the water. That's no problem at all.
Ulfzik, you said you're from the spine of the world. I've never been there before. What's it like?
There are a lot of rocks and some snow. Good amount of trees. No big cities or anything. I don't. It kind of frightens me. Where lots of people are around and people can be trapped in, the square rooms or the circular rooms, and there's only one way out. It just seems stupid to stay in one place for a really long time. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
It's funny. I was actually, before we were rudely brought here, I was heading to the spawn of the world.
Oh. Were you going to look at the scenery, or what are we going to do up there?
Not look at the scenery. We were going to investigate something that was going on, and of course it's beautiful up there. I've seen a little bit of it, not quite to the extent of what you're talking about, but we were there was great peril going on, so I don't know if this is one and the same.
I mean, yeah, peril happens. People want things, people do bad things to the people. Sometimes those people are good, sometimes those people are bad, but yeah, sometimes bad things happen. What kind of bad things were you up there to?
That was to be determined. I never got there, but there was a great power that was apparently coming back. But that's for another story. I don't know if it's connected or not. We will see.
At this point, we're going to say that as you enter the town proper is just when we see the reemergence from Dags Nabbit of Bianca and Roberts. Yuknon, you may easily continue to the water's edge. It would be less than a 5-minute walk.
he would at least tell the others, I'm going to go walk down by the water just for a moment. Can I meet you back here? Unless you'd like to come.
Would you like some company?
Of course.
Yeah, James will go.
And then we see them. Do they see us yet?
Yeah, you all would see each other. It's a small main thoroughfare there. So yeah, Roberts and Bianca would see the approach of James, Ulfsik, and Yuknon.
How is the sheep farm?
We have a job, I believe.
As shepherds or
As
Monster
maybe-
hunters, most likely.
One
Ooh,
of the sheep was dead, and it was they had some holes in it, some big ones, and it had no blood left. And what was
great.
there was like a little mark, it looked like a this, and it was like
Was it big or small?
small enough to fit on the sheep, and it didn't take up the whole
Ooh.
sheep.
Big.
Big.
Fun, fun, fun. I weirdly feel much better now that you're back, though. I wasn't
tired,
worried.
yeah.
Well, I was a little worried about you. She points at Ulfie.
Why were you worried about me?
Well, if you're away from me, I can't protect you.
Well, if you're away from me, I can't protect you.
You see? It's better.
Good logic.
Okay. Are you hungry? Do you need something to drink or eat, or how are you feeling?
I feel better now. I mean, I can always drink.
Okay.
I think we're gonna go get our heads shrunk. Not literally.
Oh.
Well, Roberts is. Not literally, Ulfie.
And then you did this. What was this?
Is therapized.
I've never heard that word before in my life.
It's a very urban turn of phrase from the Gates. It's catching on though.
Going to talk to Sister Ott. It's about that time.
So you ladies coming from Dagnabs.
Yes.
He probably has all the supplies we need.
I don't like him.
Some of the supplies that we need.
Well, Yuknon was going to go by the water. I think maybe.
Yeah, we can cut down to Yuknon as Yuknon, you and if James followed, anybody else could linger. It's like a broad stretch from the edge of town where you are to the water, so Yuknon would technically still be in sight, even to everybody that's talking.
Yeah, I guess he would have excused himself quietly from the conversation for a minute just to go down by the water. And he wants to take a little bit of the wool from the dead sheep, and he's looking for either a shell or a leaf or some sort of open container, maybe like a flat rock with a little bit of a divot in it down by the shore.
Sure, yeah, you can easily find that.
So he takes the rock in one hand and he places the wool inside the divot. And then with his fingernail, he's going to cut his thumb and he's just going to squeeze out a couple of drops of his blood onto the wool. And then with that same hand, he just sort of washes up a little bit of salt water and pours that into the divot, drops it into the divot. If James is watching him, or if anybody was watching him, very casually, he would take the stone and just put it up to his lips and tip it and drink the concoction. And I want to use, he's trying to basically use Hunter's Bane so that he can make a survival check at advantage and see if he can learn anything about the nature of this monster or whatever it is that has attacked the sheep.
Absolutely, sure.
All right. And we don't have exhaustion anymore, right?
You do not. You are...
Yay.
Yuknon, what are you doing?
22.
All right, so You learn the following and you can describe how this occurs, but the knowledge that you glean from this process is that whatever killed the sheep in question that you are using to kind of fabricate this potion, it didn't care a bit about the life of the sheep beyond its blood. You can't get the sense of feeling through this, but you get the idea that there is almost a natural need for just the blood. And the other thing that you glean with a 22, which is super solid for first level, is that this whole thing speaks of, even with the mouth that you saw, that triangle shape being large, there were multiple spots on the sheep. You believe that there are likely multiple creatures.
So Yukonon, as he's drinking, he closes his eyes, and it's sort of for a few moments, it's like he has flashes of what happened. He can get a feeling that's like this creature's feeling. Not totally. He's not like he's seeing through their eyes, but he's almost parallel to it. And that's how the magic works. And that's how he realizes that it's probably more than one creature. And as he's sort of smacking the coppery flavor of his own blood out of his mouth, he'll open his eyes to James and he'll say, "We all have our rituals, James. I don't think it's one creature that's doing this. I think it might be more."
James breathes in heavily. That's not good.
Yuknon, one last thing that you receive as part of this symbiosis, this experience magic that you are using here, you get the idea that while Cal says that they hunt at twilight, that's more of a necessity than a preference. You believe that these creatures might not be as strong in the daylight.
Ooh, that's fun. And so he would also point that out to James. Whatever these creatures are, I think they're natural. I don't think this is some sort of undead or...
That's what James was going to ask.
And at least I don't think so. But I do think that they are weaker during the day. So if we wait until evening to set a trap, we may have waited too long.
We may not be able to find them. Do we have any good tracker? I wondered if Holsick is
I have a
good tracker.
feeling. Yeah, he looks over.
I
at
mean, yeah.
He has that look about him.
He does.
What look? I'm right here.
Are you good at tracking, Holsick?
It depends. Do we have anything that I could use to... Like, the more information I have, the more likely I can track them.
All I can tell you is that I think it's multiple creatures, that I think they probably avoid the sunlight during the day. We know where the halfling was going to go up and look for them. So that's a good place to start.
If they avoid the sunlight, then they probably have... And there's more than one of them, and they're probably in some sort of a community structure during the day. So we can get them all in one place during the day.
Like a cave or...
Maybe a hovel, like a gathering of sticks. It depends on how big they are.
Do they fly?
I don't know. It would definitely help.
Well, we might want to go back to the farm to take a closer look at the surroundings.
We can do that a little later, perhaps. I know you wanted to, Roberts, go have your head shrunk.
Yeah, it was just getting too big.
Well, she told me it was the therapized,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Nailed it.
If you don't mind, then yes, I would like to go back and talk to the sister.
What if we did like a group session? It's a good way to do it, right? It's like group therapy.
Sometimes people of opposing tribes would have like all these groups of people at one time, and they would all have sex with each other. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't think
No,
so.
but I'd love to know more about that.
I just heard stories. I've never.
Jane starts looking around like, what?
No,
is he
no.
talking
Yeah,
about?
tell me the stories as we walk into this semi-holy place, please.
Okay, first off,
walking.
let me
Just to make that very clear.
To make it very clear, we're walking.
We're
as
walking.
a group.
as a group, we're walking.
As you then climb the slight hill to the pagoda of Ironbender, Sister Odd is actually waiting at the first floor opening, and when she sees Robert's approach, she would take the 3 steps down to kind of meet you. You needed to see me?
Yes, if you have the time.
Of course.
We all wanted to see you as a group.
One at a time, please.
As a group, maybe, and then one at a
Separately.
time. Or
First.
together first.
Separately, please.
Oh my goodness.
Do I remember Sister Ott?
You do not. You see like a kind of the color creep up into her cheeks. I can see you. And she looks at Roberts. That's all for today.
We'll be here a while. That's fine.
Then she offers you her hand.
Big hesitation, but she'll take it.
She leads you up to the 3rd floor.
Well,
I leave these losers in the dust.
Yeah, as you all get to this position, we're gonna cut away from the group here, so we're just with Roberts. And Sphinx just gave advantage to the entire party, everybody, and Tia gave advantage to Dawn earlier, which I noted. So everybody, you are up 1 more. Thank you very much, my friends. Mark all those down. Fantastic. And so as we get up into the room of Sister Ott, it's like the rest of the House of Amelioration. It's just white. It's Spartan. She has long curtains that are sheer enough to allow light, and they wave with the sea breeze. A bed neatly made rests against the wall, a desk with quills and a stoppered inkwell. A bookcase that doubles as a nightstand occupies the wall beside the bed. But what she indicates before the window are 2 braided mats, and they seem to be, if the pattern is any indication, they are facing one another. And she indicates the mat on the right. Please, sit.
She will. Sit down.
You see her go over, and she withdraws from the desk a bottle of what looks like some type of clear fluid. And she walks towards you and unstoppers it, and you see her like anointing her fingers and thumbs. Do you mind if I touch you? I know that you all have been through a lot.
What is it?
It's just a bit of peppermint, and it's just oil to relax.
Fine.
Okay, so as she begins all this, let's cut away, and the first thing she anoints is, as her fingers reach towards you, Roberts, she wipes the oil above your eyebrow and she stares at you and says, "Close your eyes."
She does.
And you feel both of her thumbs press against the outside of your eyelids. She swipes gently with the oil, and you can smell the peppermint that she had described. And as she does so, you see a waving flag. You feel the pressure against the eyes, and then you feel her hands trace down the outside of your eyes, down your jaw, until they get to your throat, and she applies more oil to the pulse in your neck, and then you feel her take the outside of your shoulders, the exterior of your arms, down to your wrists, until she holds them and places both thumbs on the veins of your wrists. It's not uncomfortable, but she's pressing enough to feel your beat of your heart, your pulse, as the wind blows in. What are you thinking about?
I could see a flag, and not long ago, someone called me captain, but
Are you?
I don't know. There isn't much that I can remember. And it's all recent, I think. And I know there must be something that came before.
You feel her release your wrists and release the grip on your pulse, and you feel her moving around behind you, and she whispers into your left ear, "I'm going to sit behind you. Is that okay?"
Yes.
And she does so. And as you are sitting, she almost hugs you from behind. And you feel her fingers on your temple. Let's start with the sea. Is that agreeable to you?
Yes, I know the sea.
Okay. You feel her hands move away. And then you hear a chime as she begins to move a bowl of some kind with an almost like a batter, like a large headed mushroom in the inside of it. And as she moves it, it creates a pitch, a perfect tone. And I would like you to roll a charisma saving throw. Or you may opt to fail if you wish.
Well, I rolled a 4, so.
So the tone hits your ears, and as it does so, you hear her whisper, "What did you do on the sea?" And you see a ship. Do you remember its name?
The Desiree Adrift.
And again, the tone goes off. Is it your home?
I think so. I didn't always think of it that way, but yes, until I came here. Until we were separated.
Do you remember where it was going?
Oh, we moved. We never kept the same route twice. It made us easier to find. I don't know.
Make another charisma saving throw. This time you don't want to fail.
Oh. 13?
You start getting blurry pieces of memory. The boat, a bunk, a map, conversation, indecipherable, a spyglass, a sextant, bits and pieces of a puzzle that doesn't have a border yet. You're not sure of the order of these images, of what they're trying to show you, but the theme seems to be the same. Your mind is beginning to fight against whatever has happened. It's trying to give you the clues to answer the question of where the ship is. And you feel Sister Ott hug you from behind, and you feel her head rest against the back of your neck. I'm sorry, I think that's as far as we can go today.
Okay.
She pulls herself away. You can open your eyes.
Is that hard on you?
Roll me an insight check. She seems okay. She has that wine-stained birthmark that it takes away from some of the normal tells, and by normal I mean the discoloration of somebody's skin during exertion. I think if you were around her more, you'd be able to understand what her tells are in that situation, but not today.
So we can continue another day, but what about the others?
She looks down, and for a moment the shadow creeps over and kind of obscures her right eye, and she extends her hands to kind of pull you up in front of her. You're much taller than she is, but she goes as if she's ready to hug you.
Yeah, Roberts won't stop her.
She does, and when she pulls you close, she whispers through your hair into your ear, "I will not see the others."
Can I ask why?
And she pulls back and she looks at you. You are my charge. I must help you.
Okay. I understand.
And again, she offers you her hand.
She takes it more readily this time.
She leads you out into the pagoda proper, and then down. You can see Brother Ben is there. He looks over and nods when he sees you. Goes back to what looks to be pushing a broom in one corner of the area. And you are at the front of the pagoda. I'm going to bring everybody back as I ask them what they've been doing for the last 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours?
Oh.
I would assume we probably would have went back and tracked.
Ulfsark would have waited.
Yeah, Yukon would have waited for. He wouldn't have left town again.
Yeah.
Roberts.
Okay.
What is there to do in this place?
We could play that drinking game.
Oh, thank God.
But everyone has to take part. And he looks between Ulfsik and James.
I'm not playing a drinking game with you. No.
What if I played the game, but you drink my drinks?
Okay.
Okay.
Yay.
James.
You guys seriously right now?
We've been through a lot, James.
You can do what I do and play the game and have somebody else drink your drinks.
Yeah, like a chicken. That's directed at James, not at Ulfie.
Does this place continue to seem the same to James?
What do you mean?
Are things starting to get off? Like they're not the same that he remembers?
Roll me a history check. With a 14, I will give you this one bit of information. The bend that you remember is much smaller than the bend that you are looking at. By a factor of a tenth. I mean, this is 10 times as large as you remember the bend.
Well, he's staring off into space again.
I'll play your game.
I bet you're a lot of fun at parties, James.
James, I'll answer questions that you want to know, Bianca. Are you going to answer the questions that I want to know?
Of course.
Okay. You can drink for me.
Great.
I propose that the game we play isn't so direct. Maybe, have you ever played Never Have I Ever?
Yes, we talked about this. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes or no questions, or not questions so much as statements. Each person makes the statement. Never have I ever done something that they've never done before. And if you've done it, you have to drink, or we have to drink for you.
So, like, have I ask you if you have ever killed a cow?
No, you would go, never have I ever killed a cow.
Why would I say that if I have killed a cow?
Well, you wouldn't. You would say,
You wouldn't,
never
we'll
have
say.
I ever drunk alcohol.
This is ridiculous. You want a question, just ask.
Why are you so not fun?
I'm trying to figure it out. It sounds like it could be fun, but
Yes, thank you, Ulfie.
All right.
And it
James,
seems-
I've already said I will play your games. We will play.
All right. To the tavern, then.
I'll go get the drinks. I'm getting them.
15 minutes later, you have your drinks and you're sitting around someplace.
Incredible.
A tree or something. I imagine that we're like in a little circle.
Meta, and the knife in the back of Steve's head right now, because he wants to play a game like this, is like...
Okay.
When you say you're sitting around a tree, it's just a normal tree, or are you sitting around birch eye? Are you... Because you
not-
said
Oh,
that
yeah.
tree.
Well, let's
Okay.
sit around Birch Eye.
Great. Good.
I think we should stay by the pagoda.
Can we see
Yeah,
the pagoda from
just
the
drink.
tree?
I don't know. Roberts wanted to talk to that sister, and we don't know that sister, so who knows if anything bad would happen.
You could not see the pagoda from the tree.
Okay,
All right,
let's
then
just stay
we'll
on the
hang around a normal
steps.
tree.
Can we
Yeah.
just like chill
We're
by
drinking
the
on the
steps?
steps of the
of
drinking
the
on the steps of the pagoda.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Great.
James feels like he's like the chaperone of all things here.
It's a weird feeling.
It is.
Okay, Yuknon, you start first.
And he holds up his tankard with ale in it. Never have I ever been to the spine of the world.
I drink.
So if I have been to the spine of the world, what do I
You
do?
drink.
But
You drink.
But I'm not drinking. So,
Well, Yuknon
You
drinks
could
for
choose
you,
your. I'll drink for you if you'd like.
and I'll drink
But if
for
you-
Jim.
so do I raise my hand and then you drink, or do I?
Yeah, you just give me your tankard.
You have it. It's in your hand.
All right, and he takes a drink.
Drink, Bianca.
The only time I'm gonna let you tell me what to do, by the way.
You agreed to it.
Wait, you've been to the spine of the world? You said you were going, and you got stuck.
Yes, I've never been there. To where you're from, I've never been.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, I'll go. Never have I ever done manual labor. Yeah.
Yuknon drinks twice, one from each tankard.
Jim,
James has done manual labor.
okay. Okay, now one of you go.
Never have I ever killed anyone in hate.
It's a weird qualification.
Yuknon drinks and smiles a little bit.
I mean, you can go ahead and drink another one, I guess. Things happen.
He drinks again.
Bianca doesn't drink.
Never have I ever. Man, this is hard because I'm trying to think about things I've never done, and it's difficult for me to apply them to other people's lives. Never have I ever drank alcohol before yesterday.
Okay, I'll drink.
Ha ha ha! I'm getting this.
You are.
Yuknon drinks too. Does James drink?
Yes.
Never have I ever been in love.
Bianca drinks. Oh, that's awkward. Okay. Never have I ever done so much so young. Okay. Never have I ever I can't think of one right now. Never have I ever had a spouse.
Never have I ever been somewhere other than the land that we've stepped on.
So you're telling me you never left the band?
Never left this place. Ulfsic, this is a very big things outside of even what we're standing here right now in.
Like, as a unit, you've never left the spaces where we as a unit? Like, the five of us have strayed?
I mean, somewhere else.
Like plane
Like
of like
another place.
plane of existence.
Place.
Okay.
Yes, plane. He doesn't want to use that word, but yes, plane of existence. If
Bianca drinks.
Yuknon drinks.
Ooh.
drink, please, Bianca.
Wait, you said never have I ever. Implying you. Why would I drink if you've never done
Gotcha.
it?
I have done it.
Then you wouldn't say never have I
right,
ever.
Right.
God, it's not like it's a complicated game.
I think he should drink another drink as punishment for that.
You're right.
James
This
would
is
take-
your punishment.
James says, "I'll take a drink for that," and he will take a little drink.
Oh shit.
He's not above drinking.
And thus
So
the
true.
party foul was invented.
Yeah, right.
Okay, you cannot. No, it's Ulfie's turn. You do one.
Never have I ever killed someone out of joy.
Who are you?
I don't.
Not you, darling.
Oh,
Drink.
Y'all are. That's a weird reason to kill someone.
I didn't expect anyone to. I'm trying to give everyone a break, but now it got weird.
And we'll
Okay,
s-
Yuknon has to end it, and he has to have a really good one.
killing out of joy was pretty good.
Never have I ever died and come back to life.
Drink, Bianca.
I was already going to.
Is that the two? He's going to drink two.
Yeah, James will take a shot for that one himself. It's like, I'll take that. He drinks.
Success. We got James to drink twice.
Mm-hmm.
Could
We
have just
win.
got your own tankard by now.
And Bianca drinks. She downs the rest of her drink.
And we're done, so we just wait around for another hour and a half, or
Mm-hmm.
We'll say that as you all went to get your drinks, probably found 3 or 4 bathrooms along the way, had discussions about all types of pleasantries, and here comes Roberts.
Hey, Roberts.
what took you so long?
Has it been long?
It's been 2 hours. You left me for 2 hours.
I'm sorry. I actually didn't realize I was gone. It didn't feel that long. Maybe 15 minutes.
Did they do something to you?
Kind of. But I actually do remember a bit more than I did before, so
Well, that is a plus. Anything that you would like to share with the group?
no, not right now.
Are you hungry? Do you want something to eat?
I'd like to go back to Dag's, actually.
Are we gonna go negotiate? Haggle? That's the sign for haggling.
I'm learning so much.
Possibly.
Okay.
I'm guessing there's like empty drinks everywhere.
What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
Are you drunk?
No.
I'm
No.
not.
I don't know why you're
James might
lying to
be.
me.
James got laughs. I'm not drunk.
We played the fun game. It
It
was
was so fun.
every time I never. Wait, what was
Never
it
have I
called?
ever.
Never.
Don't think about it. It's muscle memory. Never have I ever.
It sounds like it wants to be a double negative, but it's not.
It's
James-
not.
Have you played that before, Roberts?
We can just keep playing. Screw the sheep. Let's go.
Let's not screw the sheep. That's not a good...
Phrasing.
No, we should get going.
I'm sorry, these are my sheep.
Okay, back to Dags and then to the sheep farm. Just where I've always wanted to go, a sheep farm. Gross.
You're back in Dags as you walk in. The same sights and smells greet you. Dag, however, is sitting cross-legged on the counter, and he looks up when you come in. Well, hi.
Hi.
Back
How much
so
is the sword usually?
17 gold pieces.
I'll buy it. And she pulls out 17 gold pieces and puts them down on the counter.
Oh, a pleasure doing business with you. A sword and a seashell.
She takes the sword and looks back at the group.
James examines
have-
Dag.
I only have 3 left, so... Well, technically 5.
Ulsik is unsurprised and looks at Dag with a smile on his face. We are coming to haggle.
I can't wait.
What do you give me a sign back? I give you the haggling
No,
sign.
it's a secret. It's a secret group sign, Ulfie.
What is it? I'm learning this.
I know you don't do it to the person you're haggling with.
My friend, this is not haggling.
Yes, it is.
No? Okay.
I take out the rest of my gold and I just hold it out in the palm of my hand for anybody to take it.
I'll take it.
I mean, I take it and I bite it.
Chocolate.
Gross.
I've seen somebody do this once. I don't know.
Wipe it off.
With what? With my tongue?
Oh, no. Gimme.
I already
All right,
licked
what
it.
does everyone need? Because we all have... Did you give me 5 or 3? Summer, did you give me 5? Cool. All right. I mean, what do people need? Yukon, you've got a thing. Your bone sword.
Blade.
Bone blade.
Bone blade.
Can we just call it boner for short?
You can call it whatever you'd like.
Great. We'll call it...
Magnificent.
Shh.
I'm taking my sword and I'm going outside.
Can you wait?
I just looked at the store list.
Pleasure
There's a
doing
hunting
bus-
trap.
He just said goodbye to Roberts, that's all. Pleasure doing business with you.
There's a hunting trap here, right?
There is.
Yeah, it's 5 gold.
Want the gold? You can make one out of nature and some sharp things.
How good is the hunting
Maybe not.
trap? What's this hunting trap like? Like what kind of trap is it? It's like a bear trap?
It's a box trap that seems like it collapses in on itself, and it seems that when opened, it could probably fit something like a large dog or a wolf.
I was thinking we could set a trap for whatever this creature is that's hunting the sheep, but I have a strong feeling there's more than one of them. One trap might not do us much good.
But if we catch one of them alive, we can find out where the rest of them are.
If it's intelligent, if it's a monster or some sort of beast, then
Then I can potentially track their scent or their footprint, or the more information I have about one of them, I can use to find out about the rest of them.
I mean, we could also just get you boys some things to hit it with.
That is not bad. But we don't know if it's like an evil thing or a
I mean,
bad
it's-
thing.
It's drinking the blood of sheep, right?
But I mean, sometimes we eat sheep too. Are we bad?
No. I mean, well, kind of, but no.
If we are being bad, I don't want to be right. Says. He can hear Thag can hear everything you're saying.
Look,
get me wrong, sheep tastes good, but
Regardless if it's an innocent creature or not, they're paying us very well to take care of it. And right now, we don't have any money. We don't have any resources. I personally would not like to stay here in the Bend forever.
I agree.
Pardon me, Sir Dag, do you have, perchance, a knife or a spear of some sort?
He indicates there is like a kind of a umbrella bin filled with spears. 1 gold piece for the spears, and he indicates the 3 daggers that he has. 3 gold pieces per dagger.
He looks at the spears and tries to, like, how big are the blades on the spears versus, like, how big the blades are on the knives.
Oh, the knives are, none of this is exceptional craftsmanship, but it is adequate. They're not cheap, but they're not, the amount of metal in the dagger is a lot more than the amount of metal in the spear tip.
I think we might be able to get more use out of all the spears.
why?
You could, the metal part of the spears, it would take a little longer, but you could use it to dig a hole. And the knives are bigger, but, much more of the gold.
James, what do you want?
I'm going to save my money. James wants to look around to see if he looks at Dag. Still the same as he remembers? Bigger place? Smaller place?
You do not
Does it seem
remember.
the same?
You do not remember Dag at all.
Well, I wouldn't mind having a knife on me. Don't really need it, but
You don't have to use the group stuff. I think I've got, like, rummages around on his person, shoves his hand in his loincloth, pulls out 2 gold coins. I've got 2. I'm going to use these to buy 2 spears. Is that the good for you, Sir Dag?
It's perfect for me. And he takes the gold. You may have
Can
your
I
pick
take
of
any 2 that I want, or do it? Is there?
anyone's you wish, kind sir. 2 of them
Me.
are now yours.
He inspects thoroughly all of them and takes the best 2.
Sure, roll me a perception check.
Okay.
I would help him. I
Would
would
you
help.
do guidance-
Yuknon
guidance
stepped out
for
at this
him.
point.
Guidance for Olsik.
Okay.
Low in your load for me to check out some spears.
We're just, I don't trust Dag.
So is that like advantage? What's the situation with the?
You just
those
roll regular
spells?
perception, and then you get a D4 on top of whatever you roll.
My help does not help you.
Okay.
With a
16.
Yeah, with a 16, you find the 2 that you believe to be the best, but they're all well made. None of them are curved, and there's, the head and the shaft are, firmly attached. None of them seem to be like brittle or potentially hazardous to use. They're all, simple weapons, but they're sturdy enough.
Okay, you got some spears. Yukon didn't want anything. Do you want anything, James?
No, I'm good. I will
Okay.
Wait.
Great. And go find Roberts.
Do we have a light source on us that might be helpful? Because in case we're
I
in the
I
dark.
do. I do.
Oh,
Hi.
that's I forgot about that.
Right.
With your pointy things.
Mm-hmm. Go find Roberts.
She's standing like right outside.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
not done with
Yukon's
Dag
out there
yet.
too.
So, just Dag and Bianca,
Uh-huh.
alone
Would
at
you-
last.
Mm-hmm. Love it. What'd you find out about the shell?
What do you think I found out?
That it was magic.
It is.
Can you share your knowledge, please?
Ask your priest friend. Knowledge is power, and power is expensive. But I'll give you this one for free. I think only she can really use it.
Is it like a How much were you lowballing us, though? Just so I know.
I would never. I am an honest businessman.
Could you give me a knife, please?
Of course. Can you give me 3 gold, please?
She puts 2 down.
That's not 3.
Yes, I know. I can count.
Well, we're halfway there then, as he holds on to the knife.
Don't like him. I give him 3. Now I have 4.
And now look, I have a knife that doesn't belong to me. Quick, take it. And he slides it over to you.
Wonderful doing business with you.
Are you going to go see Thrillquill?
Why would I do that?
She's the greatest bard in the realms.
Cool?
I'll be there.
That's great. Have fun.
I will. I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. He goes back to
I
sitting.
leave.
You're all together back outside.
Weird little man.
I think, do we have enough time to go check out the sheep situation, or?
Yes.
Like, what is it, like 2 right now or so? 3?
2 in the afternoon. You have a good 5 or 6 hours before sunset.
I have a knife.
That's not a knife.
You're gonna... No, that's all you're gonna say? Okay.
It's Crocodile Dundee. My bad.
Technically, it's a dagger. You hear from inside.
I slam his door shut behind me. Okay, so we're gonna go hunt a monster.
Maybe it's just a person. Some crazy thing. Anyways, let's go.
And by the power of the narrative, you arrive at Cal Finnegan's house.
Let's not bother him. I'm worried about him hurting himself.
Use his crossbow.
No, he does have the crossbow. Does anyone need a crossbow?
I'll ask. I can ask if anyone wants to use it.
All right.
Let me
See if
ask
you can
again.
convince him not to come.
Okay, I'm gonna knock on his door.
The door swings open and Cal is sitting in there, and he is dressed with a backpack on, a sheep jacket with the hood up with the ears. He's holding a crossbow, and he has got a leash with a sheep on the other end of it, and the sheep has a flower over their right ear as it flicks a bit. We're ready.
What? Hold. Hi, you're Cal, right?
I am, yes.
Hi, I'm Bianca. So, before we go out, how about we just have a little chat, you and I?
Okay.
Okay. So, see, my friend Roberts over there is actually, she wasn't here earlier, I wasn't here earlier, now we're all together. She's actually really good with a crossbow. You know, she was like a pirate or something. So she's like up in the crow's nest, right? You're picturing it with me. She shot the thing. She has very good aim, very good sight. So I really think you should maybe let her use it. And maybe you just wait here. We'll take care of Flower and we can handle it all. I mean, that's what you're paying us for. It's a service rendered. I guarantee you we can handle this.
Oh, well, I'd like to hold on to my crossbow because I'm going to come with y'all. Your group failed a roll earlier that would have kept me here. And so now I am
That's not
going
fair
to be...
because I wasn't here and you should allow me to roll as the bard. You should let me do what bards do, maybe?
That sounds like a you problem and not a me problem. I'm
No,
ready, I'm ready to go.
it sounds like a friendship problem in a second.
He's ready to go. I can take you to where I found my sheep.
Roberts the door's probably open. She'll come
Yeah.
over to the door and just kind of like lean in. Just let him come.
Bianca, let him come.
You just told me to try to stop.
We did.
Whatever.
Good.
Whatever. I hate this place.
Well,
Cal,
you
you
seem like a nice enough person, so it balances out.
Cal, you stay with me.
Oh, I'm sure. Come on, Flower. And Flower's perhaps the oldest sheep you've ever seen. Like, there's, white in the muzzle and everything. Come on, Flower. It's up this way. It's 15 minutes. It should be a pleasant walk.
No offense to Flower, but maybe we should bring a more enticing sheep if we are using it as bait.
Can we carry Flower?
Flower can make it. She climbs up to the pasture every day and back.
She just looks a bit feeble.
She can get the job done. She's the one I trust the most.
All right then.
Great.
James almost can't believe that he's here.
This was your idea.
You picked this flyer.
This is your fault.
He's seeing that, yes.
Going to like the area where they keep all the sheep, would it be possible to like determine where this thing or these things entered or jumped over the fence and left?
Well, from what Cal told you before, they weren't killed close to the house. They were killed up in the pasture field. And that's where he's going to take you there to the site of the last. Mm-hmm. He brought the carcass back, but he didn't,
We'll follow him and Flower out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right this way. Come on, Flower. We're just going up to the pasture. And he starts walking. And as you all start to walk, let's change some music and let everybody see what you see. And as you all begin to climb up through the pasture and the hills, you see that on the sides, the pasture is really in a valley, and the sides creep up almost straight with evergreens and oaks at the bottom, but you're right at the edge of what would be the beginnings of like the lower grade frost lines and whatnot. And as you start looking around, it's only about 10 minutes before you get to a place where Cal takes over Flower, and there's a stake already in the ground where he ties her up. This was it. It was right here. And he indicates a area of flattened grasses.
Kind of like investigate and try to get footprints, try to get to any disturbed nature, tracking patterns, movement patterns.
Sure, absolutely. You want to roll me a survival, a nature? What do you want to roll here?
So with this, all right. Yeah, let's do survival.
You want to do advantage or
Regular, 16.
Yeah, with a 16, you're easily able to see that you can discern the sheep prints from whatever it was that attacked, because the broad foot of whatever this predator was is much longer, almost like a bird, than the sharp little hooves of the sheep. And you can see that they go up into the hill right next to this kind of closed pasture valley.
Can I discern numbers? Can I discern like the size of this, like a real life adaptation to like the size of the print?
Yeah, the thing is, the prints, the feet look large, but they're not very deep. So you think that this might be a bit, whatever it is, might have just abnormally sized feet or paws, and might not weigh that much because it's not depressing as much as something this size would be. You can discern about at least three separate prints.
Okay. And I, like, take the dirt from the prints and kind of bring it up to my nose to kind of, like, smell it. Any sort of distinctive...
Roll me a perception check with advantage.
Crit.
Yeah, you smell an awful smell. It's a mixture of dung and like you've smelled a skunk before. You've smelled that defense emission, that piss, that rancid piss of the skunk, and you can catch pieces of that in there. Something very similar to that. And in that smell with a crit, you can taste almost on your tongue blood as well, as if whatever this thing is, it's a mixture of these things that you're smelling, much like a wine or a grape grown in a specific region. You can smell all of these things that this murder site kind of amalgamates.
Okay, so there are several of them. I have their scent, so we could track them if we'd like. I think there are about 3 of them. And I think they have abnormally sized feet in proportion to the rest of their body.
Well, all right.
Cal, you're gonna stay here with Flower?
We're gonna see this thing through. I'll help as much as I can.
But you're gonna stay here as like bait? Is that why you're wearing that?
No, Jesus, the cops have found me. No, I'm wearing this as a sign of solidarity. I want them to know why they're facing judgment.
Cal, this is ridiculous.
No, it's not. It's sweet.
I don't want you to get hurt, Cal.
Don't worry, that's the role of a shepherd. We put ourselves between the wolves and the predators and the sheep.
That's his duty.
Yeah, it's my job, and they're my friends. And
Cal, James puts his hand on Cal. He said, "Cal, we're gonna take care of this for you."
let's get to it then. And he looks over at Ulfsick. Lead on.
All right, and then he takes out his spears and kind of crouches low to the ground, and then tries to follow the scent through the woods.
And with your perception and your earlier survival, you are able to do so as you all go another 20-30 minutes off of the valley up into the woods. And again, with the earlier perception and your ability to kind of trap or categorize or note that odd and malignant smell, you start catching airborne waves of that, Ulfsick, as you are getting closer to an area. So I'd like everyone to roll me a stealth check, please. I'll roll one for Cal, don't worry.
On the way up, I'm
using advantage.
I'm
trying
in
to
advantage too.
boost Cal's spirits, because if he's with us, I want him to feel like good and not shitty. So I'm trying to boost him up a little.
You know what the heck? I'll use my inspiration too.
Yes. Yes. Finally.
Okay, and then inspiration being used as well by Roberts.
16.
For a total of, so we have 16, 2 21s, 1 a natural 20, and then we have Cal with a 7, Ulfsick with a 6, and James with a 7. So 3 of you are fine. 3 of you, including Cal, seem to be making an awful lot of noise, especially to the 3 that are quiet. The 3 that are quiet, I'm going to give you the opportunity to either lay back, creep off to the side, or do you stay with the group?
I'm staying with
Yukon creeps
Cal.
off to the side.
I'll stay with Cal.
Now it might be a good time to get them out of their home or their hovel or wherever they're staying, and we can potentially flank them from all sides.
Okay. All right. One flower.
You're not leading. Get behind me. I'm a bigger target than you.
Everybody, without need for a perception check, you see a clearing kind of appear in this bowled out area and what looks like an earthbound beaver dam of stacked wood and various kind of subterranean entrances. You see holes all around. Holes.
Well, I think
How large are their holes?
They're about 2 feet in diameter.
Can we set it on fire?
It's wood.
Are there any rocks around?
It's the woods, yeah. How big of a rock do you need?
Large enough for Cal and I to stand on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Can that sacred flame the place?
don't. I would. If you
We're
do it, I
flanking.
can't. If you're talking about doing it, I'll stop you. If you're doing it, I can't stop.
Don't throw the dynamite, Steve.
Well, were you talking about doing it, or are you just gonna do it?
He's just asking a question.
Well, I don't think the setting all the twigs on fire will create the very massive flame that we will not be able to control and mess up a lot of things in the area, not to mention potentially murdering all of the other wildlife. I think
my house is pretty close, too.
We're not gonna burn your house.
Okay.
I promise.
so. I think we could try to scare them out or let them know that we're here. Would be the best option.
Okay, and then just attack.
Maybe how many holes do we see in the beaver dam? 3.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Yukon, you are flanked off into another direction, correct?
Me too.
Yeah, he's left. Yeah, okay.
Robert?
So are Roberts and Yukon like off to the side together, or are we both separate?
I think she'd be a little bit behind you, but
Okay. And he's drawn his bone blade now at this point, but he is moving natural 20 quietly off on the side.
Yeah, Roberts, even with your role, and Bianca, even with your role of being quiet, natural 20s are those special things. So Yukon disappears. This is one of those things where he gone.
yeah, Roberts has also got her sword drawn, but she's kind of slowed, looking back to see if she's a bit distanced herself from the others, but seeing if they're making any moves to try and draw out whatever is inside this thing.
James will cast Bless.
Okay. Ulfsick, as you look around, I'm going to need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh.
13.
You look into one of the holes and you see just a glint, a glitter of orbs looking back at you. And for a moment, you feel your muscles stiffen. You feel your body and joint lock as the spears go white-knuckled in your hands as you can't move. And then you regain control as all of your joints pop and crack as you break free of whatever it was that had attempted to do this to you. I am going to need James to roll me a wisdom saving throw as well. This comes before Bless, my friend. James, you go to cast Bless, and just as your eyes glance over this area, you're tactically looking for things to do, you see these two glittering orbs from the shadows, and you're drawn into them And as they begin to draw you in, you feel your muscles tense. You feel your own fingernails drawing 4 arcs of blood in your palms as you are paralyzed. And so is Cal as he turns, and Bianca, you feel Cal go stiff beside you as he's looking in utter terror at something. At this point, 3 creatures emerge from the holes, and I'm going to allow Roberts and Yuknon a surprise round because they do not know you are there.
What do they look like?
Oh yeah, what are they?
Yeah.
As they creep out, you see these long, spindly creatures with massive jaws. But whether or not any of you have seen primates or chimpanzees, these look like those without any fur. They are all flesh. They are all angles and length. And they have these huge triangular possum maws that open up. And as they look at all of you, they do not recognize where Roberts or Yuknon lie. And they begin to move towards the group of James, Ulfsic, Bianca, and the frozen cow. What do my 2 that are hidden do?
I hit it myself. I'm gonna run out and try and get whatever one's closest to me.
Okay, so as you charge out, their heads turn to recognize you, but it is still a moment of surprise. Go ahead and attack, my friend, as you take the first swing of the campaign.
Do I hit it?
It clatters to, as this creature moves out of the way and zips a... Whoa, what was that? There's a lot of stuff there.
Oh, yeah. Oops, sorry.
No. 15 is the top for Ulfsic. Ulfsic, you do not get a surprise round. It is just Yuknon and Roberts.
I was just adding the spear to my inventory. I didn't mean
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about it.
There's just a misclick. I apologize.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know that's what was going on. Okay, so as this happens, you miss this creature. Yuknon, what do you do?
How far are these creatures away from each other?
They're about 10 feet of space in between them. So 10 feet to the next one, they're 20 feet and they're all together. But 10 feet in a line.
He's going to sneak around, and if Roberts jumped out and attacked the one that's closest to them, he's going to sneak around and try to attack the one that's furthest away.
Go
the
right.
idea that we can work towards sandwiching them together.
Go right
And
ahead.
I'm going to use an advantage on this. Ooh.
Oh, that's so cool. What is that?
Nasty. That's nasty.
I love it.
I missed it.
Oh, so before he attacks, too, as he's sneaking closer, he runs the sharp edge of his bone blade, which is a long, cleaving weapon, across his palm, just enough to cause a trickle of blood to spill out. And as his palm runs up the length of the blade, he's hidden, so no one else would see this immediately, but his entire blade begins to ice over. It becomes encased in sharp shards of ice. And that's his Crimson Right. And I'll attack. Oh no.
As you swing, what I'm going to do is, I didn't say, but you both, this is a surprise round, so roll again with we'll just take the first rolls, and then we'll take the first roll of the second one. Roll another time, both of you, another attack, because I failed to say it was advantage, because it was surprise. So Roberts and Yuknon, one more roll.
Gotcha.
Roberts, that hits.
Oh, bless.
Oh, damn.
Jesus.
9 damage.
Okay, so Roberts, as you slice into this thing, as you bring the blade down and take a chunk of this thin flesh off of its skinny arm, it squeals and when it looks up, sunlight creeps in through the tree and you see it kind of squint against the light. Let's all roll some initiative now to see. Oh, there go those initiative rolls. Looks like Ulfzark, James, Bianca, Dawn, Yuknon, the baddies, and then Roberts. Okay, one of them is wounded. What would you like to do, Ulfzark, as you start us off?
Do I recognize that James was affected by the paralyzation?
I'll give you a free perception check. DC on this is going to be 15 because you're not looking at James.
23.
You see him frozen, yeah.
So there's the little gremlin closest to him. I'm going to approach him, take one of the spears that I'm like thrust the main with my main attack, thrust at that one.
Okay.
21
That'll hit.
for 8 piercing.
Fantastic. Great, great, great.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action for an offhand.
Get right ahead.
With the other spear, he's going to put it around his head and in like a slashing motion, try to direct it towards the main body of the beast.
That is also a hit.
2 damage.
Fantastic. So you kind of harry this thing as it drives you back, and you have now interposed yourself between James and this creature. Anything else you've used bonus, you've used your action. Moving away would cause an opportunity attack, or are you going to hold your ground, Billy?
I'm going to hold my ground, look at James. Now is not the time to stand still.
Well, let's go to Cal is up next, as Cal is going to stay exactly where he is. James, you are frozen. You can see everything that's going on, but you cannot move your muscles.
Can I attempt to break free?
At the end of your turn, you can roll me another wisdom saving throw.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to attempt to... He cannot cast spells at all, can he?
He cannot, no.
Yeah, he's going to attempt to break free from what got him. Kicking himself right now for not flaming them.
Again, with the same type of popping of the joints that Ulfzik experienced, you're able to rip yourself free, but your turn is over. You're drenched in sweat. You are free. Your next turn, you'll be able to act as we go to Bianca.
Okay, so it sounded like Roberts is like on one edge and Yuknon is on one edge, and was one of those also the one that Ulfzik was by?
We're going to say that because they explained it as Roberts ran out to get the one closest and Yuknon ran to get the one furthest, and Ulfzik is now on the one in the middle. Okay.
Great. Like behind it? So like I'm here, it's there, and Ulfie's behind it?
No, Ulfzik would be, since you were on the same side as James, it would be Ulfzark and then the creature.
Okay.
For the other ones, it would be the creature and then Roberts, or the creature and then Yuknon, because they came in from opposite directions. They were moving towards you.
Okay. Love it. Love it. Okay, well then I don't want to do what I was going to do, because I don't know who of you I could actually knock out, so I won't. So Bianca uses no, because she has a knife now. So she pricks her finger on her knife, and her eyes go all green, the whites disappear, the pupils disappear, and she starts muttering under her breath in a different language, and she casts Bane on these fun things that
Sure.
are here. So that's charisma saves.
And what's the
13.
and you can target up to 3 creatures of your choice. Okay.
Yep.
Two of them fail.
Okay. Good. And then we'll say it's the one by Ulsik fails and the one by Roberts fails.
Sure thing. And what would you like to... What does that do to them?
They have minus 1d4
On their,
for attacks or saving throws.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you put it on Ulfsark and... Which one?
I put it on the one by Ulsik and the one by Roberts.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the 2 that have taken damage.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I am going to... Yukonon's next, right? Okay. I'm going to inspire Yukonon then. Yay, bards, bards. I never inspire anybody well. It's always just insults. No, but not this time. Yukonon, no, it's like swing lower. Come on. It's still an insult. You got it though. Use your boner. Was that inspirational, Dog?
Yes.
I feel inspired.
Thank you. And I'm gonna move and stand in front of Cal.
Okay. As
That's me done.
we go to the boned one, Yuknon.
So Yuknon has jumped out from the back at this creature, and he's brought the large weapon overhead and just missed it as it stepped forward and it crashes with a thunk into the ground. For a moment, he's standing there, gaze flickering between his new companions and the melee that's starting to break out. There's a caw from overhead, a call from a bird, and as that happens, a caw! He picks up his blade and he spins it around and slashes across his body with his bone blade. He doesn't call it boner.
No, why would you?
But you can call it. He doesn't mind. You can call it whatever you would like.
Thank you.
There we go.
Noise.
That's gonna hit.
It'd be 7 slashing damage and 4 cold damage.
Excellent. So as the frost creeps up from the wound that you deliver to this thing, it reels back a bit with and it fixes its back leg, and as one, the one on Yuknon, the one on Roberts, and the one on Ulfsark leap. Does a 12 hit you, Don?
Is it baned?
Yes, it's baned. Wait, no, the one on you isn't baned. It's the other two.
Then in that case, yes.
So you would all see as this creature jumps up and its mouth opens as it latches onto Yuknon's shoulder. Yuknon, you take 4 damage as it begins to drink from your veins. This one's coming at Roberts.
I think that's gonna hit her no matter what.
15?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice
it
at
still
least.
hits.
That's
Okay.
nice at least.
But it was so nice of you to try.
You take, as it jumps, it latches on, and much like a toddler, it moves around to the back as if it's riding your shoulders to be able to see, and it gets behind you and it clamps down on the top of your head as it begins to drink, as blood spurts out and its tongue catches a bit of the drops as it comes out, but it has its legs wrapped around your neck. Ulfsark, this one's on you. Natural 20. but it's baned. So we're going to take away and not allow it to be, it'll be an 18 and not do double damage. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I was about to sass you, but thanks.
This one jumps in between the spears that have caused it so much trouble, and it leaps up onto your right bicep and just wraps itself around in a constrictor vise, and it bites into your upper shoulder, and blood begins to run down from its mouth as you take 4 damage. Roberts, it is your turn.
How much damage did I take?
4.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try and bring the sword up and kind of like scrape it off of me. God.
I will tell you this, mechanically, as an action, you can do 2 things. You can take your entire action to pull it off of you, or you can attempt to attack it. You don't have to roll if you're just pulling it off of you, but you will not do any damage to it.
I want to do damage to it.
Then attack away.
Okay. 22.
That will surely hit.
Okay. 10 slashing damage.
Okay, you deliver a terrible wound to this thing as a bit of its barbed tail drops to the ground as it, but it continues to bite into the top of your head as it's just, you feel the blood coming down off of the side of your face. Head wounds are, of course, bleeders. Anything else you would like to do?
No, that's it for now.
Then we go to Cal, who is going to attempt to try to get himself out of this mess. No, he does not move, but Flower is nudging his hand, wondering why he's being so still. James, this is your first chance to do something. You see your friends are in a bad way. Oh, I'm sorry, Ulfsark. Ulfsark, go right ahead, bud. I skipped right over you.
That's all good. So it's on my right bicep. I want to use one of my attacks with the free hand for the spear to kind of, since it's like in place, just take the head of the spear and like shove it through it.
Go right ahead.
$23.
That's a very good roll. Go ahead and hit.
4 piercing.
For 4. Your creature is bleeding enough now to make its blood mix with yours as there's this swirl of a very dark maroon type of blood and your own that's pumping from your veins. Anything else you want to do, Ulfsark?
Can I use my bonus action to, if not attack it with the other weapon, bite it?
You can bite it, yes. I was going to say, you can absolutely bite it.
Okay. 21.
Okay, and what's that, what's your unarmed attacks? That 4 damage for you, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so describe to us how you bite into this bad boy.
So with the spear in it, kind of skewered like a kebab, I bring my arm up and open my mouth and reach around its head and find its its neck area and squeeze down with my teeth and wrench it off of my own body and still have it clenched in my mouth like a predatory large cat.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't disengage, but you can sit there and bite each other. So
Yeah.
there's a chain of mandible on flesh action here, as you are able to do just that. Cal fails his roll. If you have anything else to do, Ulfsark, bonus action, you can move, but it'll come with you. It's
okay. I want to. Are there any free? Are all 3 of them attached?
All 3 are attached, yes.
Okay. I want to stay by James.
Okay. You can hang out by James. As it is James's turn. James, what would you like to do?
He's gonna finally cast Bless, and he's gonna hit Roberts, Usyk, and Yuknon with Bless.
Okay. And what does that do for them, Steve?
That
They add a D4 to their attacks and saving throws.
D4 saving throws and attack rolls.
Right. So it's the opposite of Bane. So we have several of them are going to be rolling minus D4, and our friends will be rolling a plus
James
D4.
puts his finally he shakes free and sees that the three of them are literally in combat, and he's kind of like trying to back up a little bit. He casts bless and says, Ogma, give them strength.
And strength he gives. Anything else you want to do?
No, not at this moment. He's good with it.
Okay. As we go to Bianca.
She gonna throw her knife at one.
They are attached to your friends.
Yeah.
Okay? I won't do anything unless it's a natural one.
I know. I trust you. I'm gonna use an advantage just in case. I'm gonna throw the one that's on Roberts. Hey, look at that. Whoop-hoo.
A 14 hits. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Sweet. 0, that doesn't make sense. Oh, it's using strength. Calm down. Everybody, it's not supposed to. 1d4 plus 2 is 6.
Maximum damage. Okay.
From 0 to hero.
So, yeah, as this dagger doesn't embed in the creature because it's too small, but it definitely takes a large chunk out of its almost exposed spine. Like, you take the flesh off and you see it chip through bone as this thing, as it's still holding on to Roberts and biting into the top of her head. Bianca, anything else you've got for us?
Roberts, get it off you. I'm gonna have to do so much work on your hair before we go back to the pub. She can have inspiration too.
We're gonna have to have a talk about inspiration, but
I swear to God, Greg.
I mean, technically it's supposed to be inspiring and not. Okay. Yuknon, you're up, my friend.
Okay, so Yuknon is like trying to shake this thing off of his shoulder. He spins it around, dragging his blade through the dirt, and he looks to the other two who are engaged. Does one of the other creatures look like it's close to biting it? Does one of them look particularly injured?
The one on Roberts does not look good. But you don't have a whole lot of experience with these creatures, but that one doesn't look that great.
So this is what Yuknon wants to do. He starts bounding, and there's it's a slow run at first, but he's picking up speed. With this thing on his shoulder, he runs towards Roberts, and he takes his blade, and he's going to try to drive it backwards through the creature on Roberts' head.
You may roll with advantage as you are in melee with a creature that cannot move away from you as it is latched up.
B plus, well, I don't think it matters, but 27.
27's going to do well.
All right. So 13 slashing and 1 cold damage.
If you could see the 14.
14.
As you can now describe to us, Don, how you kill a chupacabra.
So he bounds towards Roberts and comes sliding in to a stop just in time, and then he thrusts his blade backwards over his shoulder. I imagine you could hear the right over top of her head, and it's just a couple of inches over Robert's skull. He thrusts this thing through the back of its head and breaks off that piece of its open triangular mouth that's attached to her. And then he kind of lets it slide off of his blade, and he's going to spin around and position his shoulder towards Roberts. So she's like,
I got you.
Excellent. As this happens, according to plan, it is now the baddie's turn. So those who are attached, I need Roberts and Ulfzark to take 4 damage.
It's dead on me now.
Yuknon.
I'm sorry, Yuknon and Ulfzark take 4
Don't
damage.
punish me.
Yeah. There is no to hit. There's no saving throw. They just drain.
Nom, 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 nom.
So, Roberts,
Mm-hmm.
you feel yours no longer there with
Yeah.
the attack of the Yuknon's blade.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go after the one that's on Yuknon.
You get advantage on it because you're in melee.
Yeah. And then here's the other one just in case. So 26?
Yeah, 26 is definitely going to hit.
10 slashing damage.
Okay, with 10 slashing damage, you wound this creature that is on Yuknon, and you're able to slash into it, but this sucker is holding tight onto Yuknon. It is just, and it seems as if even the thought of peril pales in comparison to drinking this half-orc's blood. And you can see those wild, almost crystalline eyes just in a lust as it goes for this blood. Oofsark.
I'm going to move into a position slightly closer to James, so where I'm like angling the thing towards James to kind of sandwich in the space. And I'm going to take my spear and kind of jam it into its torso again. 12.
12 is going to hit. Roll me some damage.
9 piercing.
You take a large chunk out of this creature, but still it holds fast to your shoulder as it continues to draw, and you can actually feel the suction is painful, that this thing is bleeding you through this area. A leech with the power of some type of devilish natural phenomenon. Its saliva, everything seems to be helping with this seal, helping to kind of make this vacuum even that much more effective as it just draws your blood from the shoulder.
Does bless happen on attack rolls or damage rolls or nothing?
Attacks and saving throws.
Attacks and saving throws. Okay. Then I'm gonna, with mouth still clenched on its neck, unarmed as my bonus action, do that. 15.
You feel some more give in your jaws.
And then that's 4 extra damage.
You can feel it starting to relax, but it's still holding on. It's almost like its limbs are giving up, but its mouth is not.
I'm going with my mouth against its neck. I'm going to look at James.
Cal over on the rock breaks free. Oh my word! And
That's the end of his turn.
That's the end of Cal's turn. He was just going to turn and let Flower know he was okay, but so let's go now to James. James, you see that 2 of these things are still working their work. What do you want to do?
Can I just touch? He's turned this thing toward me, right?
It has, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna sacred flame that. He's just gonna grab it and sacred flame it as much as, you know what I mean. He's just gonna.
You're just gonna drop it. Yeah, you're gonna drop it right on there. Okay.
Yep.
What's the
60 feet?
It's a DC 13 dex.
Yeah,
save.
DC 13.
Minus 1d4.
I'm on it.
I'm being responsible.
He's wonky on me right now.
Yay!
It
wait.
fails.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 radiant damage to it.
Tell me how the light of Ogma burns away a chupacabra.
James grabs the back of it and just starts to just fry it off of him. He just as much flame as he can get, and he pulls it right off Olsik and then just flings it.
With the smell of that skunk concoction, that almost popping as you burn it and rip it free. Normally in the nighttime, this would be something that would actually be a weapon, but at this point during the day, it doesn't carry the same punch other than to be pungent, but you are able to burn it, and as you throw it behind you, it turns into so much blistering paper. Ulfzark, as you see the divine energy just burn this thing up.
He looks at Ulfzark like, "Are you okay?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of clasps him, like to turn him. You know, is he all right? You know, on the shoulder. He's like, "Are you okay?"
He's still astonished that he just saw this thing turn into paper, and he's got this like crusty black blood all over his red beard.
You know, James would turn immediately to what Yuknon, you know. He's already looking at what Yuknon's dealing with.
Yep, and you would see Yuknon still has this creature attached to him, and it is Bianca's turn.
Well, she doesn't have her knife because she threw it, so I guess she has to, she starts making monkey sounds at it, and she's gonna cast Vicious Mockery.
Yeah, it looks at you like it doesn't get it. It's too caught up in its bloodlust anyway. It's not really worried about what you're saying or doing to it.
Okay, I tried, and she's gonna stick her foot out and ready to trip Cal if he tries to run in there.
Okay. You're ready to action as a trip?
Yep.
Yuknon, it is your turn, my friend. This thing is still on you.
And is it like impaled with Robert's sword too? Did she like drive her sword through it?
Narratively speaking, it's not something that she could impale because it would take a piece of you with it, but she laid a pretty wicked wound on it.
All right. So Yuknon's breathing kind of heavily. He's a little unsteady on his feet. He tips to the right just a bit for a second, and he shifts back. And he kind of smiles a little bit at Roberts, who's directly across from him. And then he tries to wedge his sword up between this thing that's on his shoulder and just saw through it, just push through it with his blade.
Go ahead and roll that attack.
And I have advantage because of flanking, right?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
Roberts there?
Yeah, Roberts is there and she's unencumbered, so sure.
So a
12
hits.
does hit, yep.
Plus bless.
All right. Plus bless. 12 slashing and 1 cold damage.
So, Roberts, you would see this better than anybody else because of your proximity. You would see this creature as ice comes up its eye and freezes its right eye in its orbit, but it continues to bite and the blood continues to run from its mouth. As it is, do you have anything else, Yuknon, that you'd like to do?
That's a good question. I can't try to. No, I'm good. I'm feeling confident.
As it draws in, you take 4 damage.
So that would have dropped him to 0, but he has
Relentless endurance.
So he's just like, he like almost tips and his smile fades, and there's, for the first time, an orcish growl in the back of his throat. And now his eyes are on this creature.
As we go from this creature that is biting and drawing as much of the life force from this half-orc as will be allowed, Roberts, it's your turn.
Can I pull it off?
Yeah.
Rather than attack it?
Yep, you forgo your attack to rip it off.
Yep, I'm going to do that. I'm going to rip it off and throw it as far as I can.
Okay, roll me an athletics check as...
Sure. 16.
Yeah, you pull it free as pieces, and you can hear the as it pulls off of Yuknon, and you throw it into the air.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else you would like to do?
Yeah, if it starts to fall, I'm gonna ready my sword like a baseball bat.
Okay, that would be for your next turn, but you can absolutely go full Negan and just get ready. All right. Top of the round, Ulfsark, it's up to you.
So this thing's currently in there. Is it landed on the ground?
It's flying through the air.
It's like a slow motion thing. He's going to like look at it and like gauge and learn and take one of the spears in his hands and throw it directly at the flying chupacabra.
That's gonna hit. Roll me some of that juicy damage.
It's going to be -1 because it's dexterity. So that'll be 8 piercing.
As your spear hits this thing and runs completely through it, the shaft making a kebab out of it, simultaneously a crossbow bolt shatters the left eye as the one that was frozen blasts off the side of its face. As on the rock, crossbow in hand, Cal looks up as the creature drops dead to the ground. Congratulations, my friends.
Is this what monster hunting's always like?
Usually.
James would cast Cure Wounds on Yukon immediately.
Yeah, Robert's just stepping forward to like steady him to make sure he's okay.
So
He does
1d8
fall a
plus
little
3.
bit forward.
Yeah, she'll catch him.
Not too
I did.
bad.
Yeah. +3. Or does that count toward that?
+3. Cool.
It's included.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
say not too bad?
Yeah, I said it wasn't too bad, was it? Was that like a bad fight?
Robert's is just like covered in blood, like
Yeah,
hair
Yukon.
matted with blood.
That'll come off,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, James
and I can do
steadies
your
Yukon.
hair.
Ulfsik goes and he pries the spear out of the chupacabra and also takes that crossbow bolt out of it as well and holds on to that. But he also wants to investigate the nest of the chupacabra. If we really want to make sure that all of his sheep are safe, we make sure that they don't have any offspring or that there are not any more hiding.
Or that they weren't the offspring.
Good point. And so
Thank you.
he ducks down and tries to fit through one of the holes.
You're
Into
so
that.
large.
I'll tell you this, if it's not well made, I mean, you can like part the sticks yourself if you want to look into the proper, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're looking for additional, roll me a survival or nature check.
16.
It's hard to say. It looks like a space that could only house the 3 creatures that you saw. It doesn't look like it could comfortably house anything more than these 3. The scat that's kind of around here looks like enough for 3. There are just not enough space. And there are 3 tunnels leading out of here, if that means anything.
3 tunnels leading out of the pile.
Yeah, it's the 3 that they appeared from.
Yeah, okay. So I want to destroy the hovel, make sure there's like no tunnels left, so it's just a pile of sticks.
Absolutely. You all did it. I don't think I would have been able to do this myself.
Teamwork
No.
makes the dream work, Cal.
You did a good job, though. You hit it right in the eye.
I just shot. I saw your spear and I just shot towards where your spear was going.
That is a good eye, my friend.
We did it, Flower. We got him. We got him for the other 4.
Greg, I'm curious. Can I make a survival check to see if I know more about these creatures? Like, if there's one nest, are there going to be more? You know what I mean? Like, just a basic knowledge about the
Roll me a history check then.
history.
Yeah,
Okay.
because this is more
I have
folklorish. Yeah.
Okay. I have advantage on it, but I suck at history.
You have inspiration.
Oh yeah, I'll use my D6 on this then.
Noise.
So 17,
Do it. Get it. Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Usually these creatures are by themselves or at the very most in a pack or a pod of 6 or fewer. So if
it's very unlikely that there's more of them in the
highly
region.
unlikely, yeah, because they're predatory in that they have and very territorial.
And then he'll push off now that he's kind of recovering from the healing magic. He'll pull off of Roberts and give a thankful nod to her, and then tell Cal, I think this is the last of them. I don't think there are any more around here, so our job is done.
One moment, let me. And he wants to, for the one that Cal killed, cut the feet off, and then cut the head off. Did this? You've earned this, so you could either take the feet as like a trophy to remember this and us by, or you could take the head. Which one would you like?
I'm gonna take them all. I'm gonna take them in town and tell everybody what you guys did.
Yes, do that. That's a great idea.
Go to
Ulfie, gather them up.
Oh.
You can carry them.
Cal goes around and with Flower tied to his belt, he goes around and Yuknon, he comes up to you and he offers you his hand. Thank you.
He shakes it slightly and doesn't say anything.
He goes over to Roberts. Thank you.
I'll shake his hand. Just nods.
Goes to James. Thank you.
James gives him a smile and pats him on the shoulder and shakes his hand. You're welcome.
Goes over to Bianca. Thank you.
She ruffles his hair and then goes to pick up her knife.
And he finally goes over to Wolfsick. Thank you.
Grabs his hand. Thank you. I hope I can count you amongst a friend type. I don't have many of those.
For as many summers as I have left, Cal Finnegan is your friend.
I hope that is a lot of summers.
On the walk back, he produces from a pack on the side of Flower 5 separate bags filled with 12 gold pieces apiece.
Shield.
And as he's waving at you as you leave his little cottage, you can hear him telling that all the sheep, we did it, they did it. They took care of them. They took care of them. You're all safe. As he's talking, and as you're all walking off, he waves and yells, I'll see you at the tea room. I'm coming into town. And as you are walking through the twilight of the lavender fields, off in the middle of the field, you see a blue disc appear in the air. And it is spiraling with magic. It's swirling in 2 dimensions as figures begin to step through. They are dressed in fancy clothing. They jingle as they walk. You see a lizard, its race unknown, about 2 feet tall, with a cigarette hanging out of its mouth and a pair of little sequenced pants on. No shirt, as it walks out and continues to circle its hand behind as the portal remains open. You see a human step through carrying cases, his hair long and salt and peppery, but predominantly dark. Without the need for a roll, James, you recognize this man as Vincent as he comes through. And as one, members of this band appear, but they stop and wait as members of the band come out, seeing this circle appear in the lavender. The town begins to hustle. There's a ringing of a bell. Even the pagoda opens. And you see someone step forward. There we are, and so we end our episode and session of The Realms Remembered, and what you all saw was a elven woman, if we're going to do a face claim, a elven Charlize Theron walk out of the portal. She is tattooed on one arm from shoulder to wrist. She is the bard Thrillquill, the realm's greatest bard, and she has arrived. But that's a story for another sun. As we go around and talk to all my friends, everybody, let's talk to Don. Don, how are you doing, bud?
Oh, I'm doing great. This is a super fun episode. Always more fun. Like, we keep getting to know each other better and better and better. We had a fun combat. Got to kill some chupacabra. And the halfling, the old halfling didn't die. I was really just kind of assumed he was a goner. You know, when you put him in that sheep costume, I pretty much figured that was it for him. But
what kind of asshole would do that?
But yeah, I had a great time. I love getting to play with all of you. Looking forward to next week in Thrillquill and seeing what this concert's all about, or not, you know, or getting up to some other shenanigans. We'll see. In the meantime, you can follow me online at Donathan Fry on Twitter. Stuff's up on chat right now if you're interested. I write a bunch of adventure modules and other things for D&D, and I stream, and I do it with my friends. So other than that, join us on Wednesday night here on this channel. I'm the DM for May Black Roses Bloom. We've only got 3 sessions left of our main campaign, so things are getting pretty intense. That's all.
Fantastic, my friend. And let's go down to Steve. Steve, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. That was a great ending. Now, you know, the people he's been looking for are in front of him. So I am ready. That was a blast. I love the fight. I felt like putting on riding an old bike there with James, you know, doing my thing. I know exactly what needs done. So I had a blast. I cannot wait for next week. Catch me, I guess, next week on Star Trek. It was a great job, Gage. Amazing. Follow all these people. They're beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you, buddy. And if you hadn't dropped Sacred Flame with James, I would have been devastated. Roberts, how are you doing?
Doing great. This was super fun. It went pretty smoothly. All in all, it was pretty good. Proud of us. Really excited to see what Thrillquill's all about. I'm going to the concert. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm gonna go. It's gonna be a really fun time. You can find me online at Just a Summer Job. It's where I retweet everything that I'm doing. Yeah, just check me out there. It's the easiest place to find everything that I do.
Fantastic, my friend. And Ulfsark, Billy, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing awesome, man. This was a hoot. I have so much fun. You could you follow me at Middle of the Forest if you want. Nobody's making you, and nobody cares, which is just cool. That's how I like it. And I'm on this channel again Wednesday at 8 for May Black Roses Bloom. It makes me sound more appealing, but I want to say I'm a Tales from the Grim exclusive. So you can only find me here. Buy one, get one full price. So if you want to follow me, cool. I'm having a great time with my friends. I'm really glad I get to share all of this awesome story. I get to play for Greg and Don, both amazing DMs with like a wide variety of different qualities. And it's a privilege to be able to play with these guys and to entertain you, people watching on VOD, people hanging out in chat. I appreciate you guys keeping eyeballs on us, and I'm having a blast. I hope to see you guys again next week.
Fantastic. And everybody, you should follow Bill because he's kind. He sells himself short a bit. He is a humanity exclusive in that he is a nice person. So that's rare. You're not going to find that in the bargain bin. Lauren, my friend, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, fine. Monster hunting went well. Drinking went well, as it is wont to do. I'm Lauren. I'm That Salty Ginger over on Twitter, part of the team over here at Tales from the Grim, and I play in Star Trek, I play in this, and then I run an Urban Shadows campaign that starts in about half an hour. That's me.
Fantastic. And just so you all know, we finished with 21 retweets on, so that's good. That's very good. That will be put onto the for next week. Which is lovely and wonderful and all that good stuff. My name is Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team on the Twitch. We have Bad Moon Rising coming up in a very short period of time where I get to play the basically drunk Dragon Doyle. And then on Wednesday, May Black Roses Bloom. Join us for the end of that epic. Sundays, we have Star Trek continuing mission at 7 p.m. Eastern with a lot of these lovely folks. And then on Friday afternoon, we have the continuation of our community event. We had the first group go into Garrett, Maryland against the vampires last week. We will have another group go in this week. But before we go, and before I say the thing, welcome to second level, everybody, because that was a hell of a fight. So, everyone, as the campfire goes down, there is only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but by God, you can always role play. We'll see you next time, friends.